The ego is fighting to survive. It's creating consciousness, it's creating the mind, it's creating all these things to hold on to. So it forces itself into existence. And the moment that we turn back, we start to see, hey, what if this doesn't exist? The ego's trying to force us back into it. So it creates fear around where it came from. It doesn't want to go back into back into the womb. It wants to stay out and play. It wants to be active like a child. So what I do, because of that fear and because I was afraid of the dark, it's like this new Batman movie, Batman Begins. Alfred said to him, so what's the deal with the bat? He said, well, it's the only thing that I'm afraid of. He didn't say that I'm working through. He didn't say that I'm used to, that I used to be afraid of. It's the only thing that I am afraid of. So that's what you approach, because that's where the power's at. So that's what I did. I was afraid of the dark, so that's where I went. And when things go bump in the night, I bump back. And you realize, no, you just realize that bumping is just you. That's your heart pounding. So when you bump back, you realize, oh, that was me.
So what do you think all this fear is about? That's a real genuine question. I mean, I talk to people just as you do, and deal with my own life, and I see people get inspired, and they'll even get to the place that you're talking about where they say, gosh, I really am this, and so this is what I want to be in my life. And then, God knows what they draw into their life for all the reasons that they find to just plain sit still. So there's an overwhelming gripping fear. I can understand that it's about non-existing, all right? But when you're talking action, to me, that implies pushing against non-existence.
Okay, so on that, we have human beings, we have two things, fear of success and fear of failure.
Sure.
And it's almost the same thing.
They are the same thing, and they'll feel the same way in the body.
Right, exactly. So what happens is we get up against that wall, and again, we're not trained like other animals are to be pushed beyond that point, because we don't know what's beyond that point. And that means that we're going to have to leave everything else behind. And then you have the ego again saying, I don't know what's there. Am I going to still exist? And it's not. The ego in the same form is not going to exist. So it's going to create all these distractions and things, and feed you back your program, your story, and stuff like that. So I mean, when you get to that point where you're going to cross or do that quantum leap, quote unquote, everything in your life before is right there stopping you. Nobody wants to go past that.
No, they don't. That's the impasse where people say, I would rather die, and then sometimes they do.
Yeah.
It's that big.
I've worked with people that have died. I've told them, if you don't stop, you're going to die, and they died.